So you want to jump into Rivian Autonomy Day?
Yeah, let's well, I mean, there's not much to share there other than obviously we're getting closer to it and it does seem like since what about a month ago to now, Rivian has gotten pretty much repriced, right? It's up 40% on not the most stellar earnings report or anything like that. It's up 40% largely because people might be looking at Rivian a little bit differently if they have autonomy and AI capabilities. And that seems to other people seem to be agreeing that that might change everything. So next week on Thursday, I believe, is their autonomy day. They're going to be demonstrating what they're capable of. It's going to be live streamed, by the way, so everyone can watch it. I'm going to be there at the event. The event itself, the live stream is expected to be an hour and a half, and then afterwards, with demonstration or with PowerPoints and presentation, I should say, not demonstration. But afterwards, they're supposed to take the live audience for some demonstrations and possible demo rides. So we'll know a lot more next Thursday. And interestingly, I was at the Tesla Autonomy Day in 2017. Actually, it may have been 2019. In 2019. And that was super fascinating. So it'll be interesting to see how Rivian's Autonomy Day compares to Tesla's Autonomy Day. I suspect
Totally.
Rivian will have been far, far ahead of where Tesla was in their 2019 Autonomy Day. So just because the technology has improved and changed, and like right now, if you demonstrated what Tesla demonstrated in 2019, you'd be in pretty bad shape. So because it was sort of jerky, it wasn't like smooth driving. It only like had a very specific path it could go. It was a closed circuit type of demonstration. So I am very curious what they demonstrate, and I do think that you know. Uh, After their autonomy day, we're either going to get a like regression sell on the news on the stock, or people will be like, wait a second, Rivian is a legit player in this space, and a $20 billion valuation seems very, very cheap for a company that has is about to mass produce vehicles with autonomous capabilities and is already producing at a rate two luxury vehicles with autonomous capabilities. It already has the number one selling EV in the country, priced over $70,000. So there's a lot of like positives going for it, right? Like it has the most popular SUV of both EV and non-EV in California, for example. Uh, if you go over the $70,000 price mark, meaning like for luxury SUV, it is the absolute most popular in California and some other states, and it's the most popular nationwide for EV category. So it's already beating out the Tesla Model X, which is what I used to drive. So it's getting exciting. It's getting exciting.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it potentially being a sell the news event, but it was before the price really moved. So it made, I was hesitant to believe that. Now Rivian's up like 40% in the last month. It very much could be a sell the news event, even if it's
Yes.
all positive news, just
Yeah.
how, the
The
market
markets
works.
are unpredictable in that
Yeah.
way, but I suspect that if they are able to, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on them because this is a company that it's not like flying under the radar by any means. There's a lot of attention and eyes on these guys. RJ has been talking about and giving so many interviews in the past several months. So a lot of people are sort of paying attention, but they're just like Tesla is so far ahead. Can these guys catch up? They might be years behind. Nobody knows how far behind they actually are, right? Everyone agrees that they're behind, but like it's just like how far behind Tesla. And if all of a sudden you get this sort of glimpse that they might only be a year behind Tesla, well, robotaxi represents somewhere, depending on who you ask, somewhere between 400 and $800 billion of Tesla's $1.5 trillion market cap. So yeah, if that's the case, and if these guys can be a player in that space, then all of a sudden $20 billion seems like peanuts, right? Like they could 10x from here and still only have a $200 billion market cap. So
The other way to look at it is also not how far are they behind Tesla, but how far ahead are they in front
from
of
everyone
all
else.
the right, everyone else. Like even if they're still very behind Tesla, but they're also very ahead of everyone else, that's not
Yeah.
necessarily that bad of a position to be in.
100%. And, this is why I think like they have multiple things going for them because essentially all car companies are going to be software driven and have some kind of autonomy capabilities in the future. So if you're, and they have to be over the air updatable. So if you're a car company that's making cars without surround cameras, without autonomous computers on board that could like do the inference that's necessary for fully autonomous driving, if you don't have over the air updates, if your vehicle is not software driven, which is basically nobody other than Tesla and Rivian, VW is licensing technology from Rivian to go in that direction, but VW being the sort of one of the largest car companies in the world still doesn't have that. So if you're anybody else, you're kind of like in trouble come a few years from now in terms of just being able to sell cars. Forget about just the autonomy or robotaxi space. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They do have lots of things going for them. I think this is, fingers crossed. I think this is Rivian's start to a pretty like bright future, and
Right.
people only look at the past to sort of like try to predict the future, and they're like, oh, the stock is down 90% since IPO. Well, yes, but like I'm not buying it at IPO prices. I'm buying it at 90% off, right? Like so, take that with a uh, to take the new piece of information and run with that as opposed to getting stuck in the historical price chart. So anyway,
Going back to Tesla's autonomy day back in what'd you say 2019?
I think it was 2019.
How did that event uh meet your expectations? Like did they overperform, underperform?
It was a great event. I actually did a write up about it, and at the time, remember, no one believed that this was a possibility. And like what Tesla demonstrated is that no, it's not only a possibility; it is the future. And we were all sort of going off of Elon's timelines being, slightly off or whatever, but like they're close. We believed him in that they're really close. And the demo ride that I received was somewhat jerky, but it was good enough to where I believed that it was going to happen in the next, say, year, 2 years tops, right? Now it ended up taking them a lot longer, but it was super impressive. But now, like for the time, meaning like I had never, been in anything that could, drive itself and stop at red lights and do all of that. So at the time, that was super impressive. Today, the bar is much, much higher because of what Tesla has done and because Waymos are already sort of like giving rides and things in the markets. So, they can't demonstrate similar sort of thing and get away with impressing people. But yeah, at the time Tesla did that in 2019, that was state of the art. It was pretty impressive, but it's still like, you could kind of tell like, okay, it's a little too jerky here. It seems to be confused in certain situations. But yeah,